Hello everybody, and welcome back to my wood shop. Mail call today, and I want to give Kim and John Racette a very special thank you. Not only for the wood that you see in front of you right now, but, well, the sentiments written in the card that was included in this package. Well, they really touched my heart, and I appreciate it very much. You can see there's a crack in the wood. I'm not sure how deep it goes. I'll have to see if I can work that out or work with it, one of the two. But I do believe this wood is poplar, just by the grain and color. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And as normal in my videos, I'll be showing bits and pieces of regular speed or normal speed mixed with some high speed or time lapse, just to make it a little bit more fun to watch. And my first task here is to make this round. It was close to round already, so I don't need to take a whole lot off. Just a few passes with a real light touch. It's getting me some nice little curlicues. And what I'm doing is the outside and bottom of the bowl first, establishing the basic shape that I want. Some nice curves. And then I'll mark and cut the foot of the bowl. And then I'm going to have to address that crack. It's a little deeper than I'd hoped. And now that I have the shape and foot established, it's time to address that crack. And what I'm going to do is just mix up some 5-minute epoxy, mix in some Aztec Gold mica powder, and see if I can't put a little vein of gold inside of this bowl, or on the outside of this bowl. I'm just taking that little popsicle stick and pressing the epoxy into the crack. And I let that 5-minute epoxy set up for about an hour before I took the tape off. And I'm just using 80 grit sandpaper to get the bulk of that off. And then I begin the finishing process of the outside of the bowl. So I first sanded to 220, and then I applied some denatured alcohol just to raise the grain so I could sand the grain back down to smooth. And then I sanded again up to 500 and applied the Danish oil that you saw, cherry flavor. I thought that would make the grain pop a little bit. And then I sanded again up to 1000 grit and finished it off with axe polish. I like the way that turned out. Subtle, but effective. And you can see the foot there. I'm using the inside of that as a mortise to mount onto that 4-jaw chuck so I can get to work on the inside of the bowl. Now sometimes when working with smaller pieces, and this one's about 5 3/4 wide by about 3.5 tall or deep, it's just awkward to get the big tools down in there, so drilling out the center, it just helps. It makes things a little bit easier. And what I'm also doing is drilling down to almost where I want the depth of the bowl to be. So it's a good guide to make sure I don't turn this thing into a funnel. And a longtime subscriber and very talented man, a friend of mine, Mike Benjamin, made this tool for me quite some time ago. You've seen it before in my videos. I don't use it very often though. But when I do, I sure appreciate it. Thanks again, Mike. Well, this was a simple turn, but I gotta say I really enjoyed it. Just getting back to the basics. It's good for you. It's good for me. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless, and Semper Fi.